Hey gaming fans, so today's another Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile, and this is for the GOAT format as well, and this is based on Final Countdown. Now the object of this deck obviously is to win through Final Countdown, which is once you activate this spell card, after 20 turns you win the duel. So it's a deck that a lot of people really don't like playing against, I'm sure, because it is kind of annoying. Anyways, let's get to the deck profile. So for the first three cards we play three obviously Final Countdowns. So in GOAT format, you're allowed to play three. In regular Yu-Gi-Oh, modern Yu-Gi-Oh, whatever you want to call it, I think this card's only at one. Just for that reason. It's very annoying. Basically, your opponent has to try and kill you before 20 turns is up, or else you win the duel. So really, you got to get to this card as fast as possible, so you're going to need help doing that. So I put in one Pot of Greed, one Graceful Charity, and two Upstart Goblins. So obviously that's going to thin your deck out. It's going to get you as fast as possible to Final Countdown. You just got to hope that your opponent doesn't delinquent duel you and rip it out of your hand on their first turn, because that would just suck. Then we also have some more draw power with card destruction. So if you draw a whole hand full of just stuff that's no good, you just pitch it and draw a whole new hand. Or if you draw more of Final Countdown than you need, because you only need to activate one, you could pitch the other and draw cards. Then I added in two different dimension capsules. This is kind of a fun card. I don't know if you'd want to, right off the bat, use it to try and find Final Countdown, because it is vulnerable to a lot of spell and trap removal, like Breaker, Mystical Space Typhoon, Heavy Storm, you name it. So unless you actually have some way to protect it, because it has to sit on the field for 2 turns in order for you to get the effect. But basically, you select one card from your deck and remove it from play face down, and then during your second standby phase, after the activation, destroy this card and add it to your hand, the removed card to your hand. So, I mean, it can, if you have like a Solemn Judgment or something ready to set at the same time, and then you can get your Final Countdown that way. Otherwise, just use it to thin out your deck as well. Maybe grab a card like Mirror Force or something you're not going to need to win the duel. And, if your opponent destroys it, they destroy it. Another good thing to use with this is once you've already activated Final Countdown, you could use this to try and get rid of them out of your deck so you don't draw them. Yeah, that's an option as well. So then we got, for stall power, we got 3 Messenger of Peace. So this is hopefully what's going to help keep you alive for 20 turns. Now remember, this is 20 turns. This is 10 turns of yours and 10 turns of your opponent. So, it really feels like it goes by pretty quickly. So you just need to stall out long enough. And so Messenger of Peace doesn't allow any monster with 1500 or more to attack. You do have to pay 100 life points during your standby phases. That could become a problem because, Final Countdown does require 2,000 life points to activate it. So you got to watch your life points in this deck for sure, because your opponent can actually beat you with a Ring of Destruction. And then we play 2 level limit area Bs, because you're only allowed 2 in a deck. Otherwise I would play 3. So you change all face-up level 4 or higher monsters to defense position. So this will help, with problematic cards that are really big, like Jinzo or something like that. Just put them into defense mode. Now for the traps, we have 1 Torrential Tribute and 1 Mirror Force. This is going to help you basically stay alive as well. Get rid of problematic monsters at the same time, like Chaos monsters, for instance. And for protection, I put in 3 Spell Shield Type 8, because we do play monsters in this deck. We do set the monsters, so Nobleman of Crossout would be really bad against this deck. So you're going to want to make sure you set that Spell Shield Type 8, because you could activate it to negate the activation of an effect of a spell card that targets one monster on the field and destroy the spell card. So you basically negate Nobleman of Crossout or something like that. Also can be used like a Magic Jammer if you have a spell in your hand. Maybe you have an extra, you have an extra Final Countdown in your hand, and you can just discard it to negate any spell, like Heavy Storm. Same thing, we got 2 Magic Jammers, just to do the same thing as Spell Shield Type 8. It's hard, you just discard any card, so just get rid of whatever crap is in your hand to stop that pivotal heavy storm that's going to ruin you, or a giant Trunade, or whatever your opponent plays is trying to break your setup. Then, of course, 3 Solemn Judgments. This is probably a must in this deck because you are so vulnerable to spell and trap removal. So this will stop all of it. This will stop Breaker. This will stop your opponent playing anything that's going to get in your way. Even get rid of the Chaos monsters that they might summon. Then I play 2 Time Seals. I don't know if I'd bump this up to 3. It's a good card. I was just thinking, you know, you stall your opponent out at least one turn of them drawing a card just to slow them down. Plus, there is a way to constantly recycle it, so we'll get to that. And then I play 2 Waboku. Same thing. I was debating on playing a 3rd Waboku. I just didn't have the room. I couldn't find a card to pull out to have that 3rd Waboku. Another trap that I was hoping to play was like a Gravity Bind or 2. But again, it's hard to figure out which cards to take out. And I don't want to have too many traps because we are playing that Spell Shield Type 8, which could require a spell card to use it. So I just didn't want to go that route. And then for the monsters, I play a small monster lineup. Again, just to help stall. So I put 3 Legendary Jiu-Jitsu Master. Kind of like the Time Seal concept. Your opponent attacks it, that monster will end up on the top of their deck. So it just slows your opponent's turn down by 1 turn, essentially, because now they're going to have to draw that same monster. And it's 1800 defense, which, you know, for most of the monsters that are played in GOAT format, a lot of them can't get over the 1800. Most of them cap around 16 to 17, so, you know, a Surrey Priest and all that can't run them over. They have to pretty much go to their Chaos monsters, or if they're playing a deck that runs like, you know, the big beast cards or something like that. Then for some more stall, Spirit Reaper, good card. Nothing can run it over, except for, you know, if it's face down and they throw that, you know, Suzuki Samurai or whatever at it. But, you know, anything that runs into it pretty much is just going to bounce off of it. You're just going to have to worry about cards like Piercing, any monsters that have Piercing or something like that, or anything that could target it. So basically, he just doesn't die by battle. Then I put 2 Mask of Darkness. This will help bring back any of your traps that you've used. It is a flip effect, so you got to watch out for Nobleman, which is why I play all those traps. And then you can bring it back to your hand and reset it for their next attempt at a Nobleman. Also, this will help you grab Time Seal and recycle it, so you can continuously make your opponent skip their next draw phase. Then we got 2 Magician of Faith. Again, same idea. Grabs your spell cards, grabs your Pot of Greed, whatever you need out of your graveyard, and then you can recycle it with the 2 Tsukuyomis, which will help, you know, once you get your opponent slowed down with your, like your spell cards that prevent them from attacking, you can just Tsukuyomi your Mask of Darkness or your Magician of Faith and keep bringing cards back that you need to help protect yourself. So, I mean, this deck is very similar to a lot of other decks out there. It's pretty much like Pac-Man and a few others that, you know, just stall out and burn decks. I just thought it'd be fun to try Final Countdown. I mean, this deck is pretty much, itself would be pretty legal in, you know, modern Yu-Gi-Oh! But you'd have to take out 2 of the Final Countdowns and your Pot and Graceful and replace them with suitable replacements. But, I mean, you know, still possible. Anyways, let me know what you think of the deck. Throw some comments down below. Hope you subscribe. Talk to you later.